Went for a tire change. Found a tracker under my car placed by my roommate. How do I go about this? Posted to r/relationship advice March 29th, 2020. I'm a 25 female. My roommate is a 34 male. I moved to a new town last year, only knew one person, stayed with her for a bit until I found a house to rent, but I needed a roommate. She introduced me to a guy she worked with who also needed a roommate because he just gotten a divorce. I met him first, didn't get weird vibes, seemed nice enough. About 6 months ago, he made the suggestion to be friends with benefits, and I made the stupid mistake of agreeing. Okay, shoddy, why? I don't know who needs to hear this, but your random roommate from a friend of a friend is not a good person to be friends with benefits with, let alone a roommate in general. I know it's probably worked out for someone out there, but I would say 9 times out of 10, probably not the right move. For your sanity, for your living situation, for a healthy relationship afterwards with that person, bro. We both did not want a relationship. Everything was fine until he started getting weird and staying up until I got home, questioning me about where I had been and who I was around. I then ended the hooking up, told him I didn't think it was like that. He got mad. Everything was fine for a bit until yesterday. I live in a pretty rural area where most businesses are small and family owned. Since not a lot of people are getting out, I decided to go ahead and get some new tires and support a mechanic shop I go to, since I doubt they're getting regular business at the moment. I'm there waiting when the guy comes over and tells me he wants to show me something. I'm like, okay. We go over to my car and he bends down and points under at a black box. He asks me if I know what that is and tells me it's a GPS. It took me a second to understand the implications of a GPS being under my car. I was like, so someone put it there? It's clear I have no idea why it's there. And he got actually concerned and told me if I didn't know, I needed to find out. I feel so creeped out because I have no friends here. The friend I knew moved away. I only know some people at work, but we're not friends, and it's been hard to meet people. There's no other way a GPS would be on my car unless my roommate put it there. Now I'm freaked out in a way I've never been before, and I can't move out. I'm scared to ask him about it. I have no one to stay with, no family here. What do I do? Do I just ask him about it outright? I left the GPS there because I don't want him to know I know at the moment. What do I do? Don't get me wrong. I think where this is going is it is the roommate, because it probably wouldn't have made it to best of Reddit or updates if the update was just like, JK, LOL, it wasn't my roommate. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe it would. But I think number one, you got to figure out if it was actually the roommate that put this under your car. I'm not trying to give the roommate the benefit of the doubt here, but you don't know if the roommate put it under your car. And like you saying, like, I don't think there's no other way a GPS would be on my car unless my roommate put it there. I don't think that's true. You could have a random person who's maybe trying to like traffic you or something, just like follow you, and then when you leave your car there while you're grocery shopping or something, like puts it under there. I don't think we can fully jump to the conclusion that it is the roommate until we know for sure. Now, here's what I will say. I think regardless of GPS or not, you should not be living with this guy. If he's interrogating you when you come home from going and doing things, that healthy roommate situation has been soured. You need to get out anyways. So my recommendation is like, if you can, move away, not just from the roommate, but from this town, because if it's not the roommate GPSing you, it's probably much worse. It's extremely unlikely that it's a stranger. You guys will have to correct me here, but like all the incidents that I've heard personally from people that I know about girls getting their cars GPS tagged, they've all been strangers GPS tagging their cars. Now, I don't want to say that my experience couldn't be an outlier and is the only one that we need to validate that information, but like genuinely, I've always thought strangers are the ones who've been tagging cars more often. Statistically, it's more likely to be someone you know. It's rare that it's a stranger. Okay, so statistically, it's probably the roommate here. Is there anything where you can like take GPSs that you find and like get them reverse GPSed? That probably made 0 sense. You know what I mean though? Can you like go somewhere and figure out where a GPS is tracking from? Reverse tracked. Yeah, thank you, Fly Girl. That's what I meant. Yes, the police usually does that because you can call the company if there's a code on it, and most do. Ah, okay, so you guys are like, let's take this to the damn police ASAP Rocky. Okay. Cops will disregard her. I actually don't doubt that. Isn't that like a felony? Google with Sarby time. Also, Beans is here. Beans, say hello. Oh, my pretty handsome boy. Put away that butthole, though. I know what you're gonna do. When you have to fucking censor your own cat because he's a slut. Sorry. Yes, in many states, it is a crime which can be classified as a felony or misdemeanor to place a GPS tracking device on someone's car without their knowledge and consent. So, like, the police have to take her serious, right? If this shit's illegal, it's an alley-oop. You find GPS. You contact company of GPS. You tell GPS company, hey, tell me who did this because they doing a legal thing. It's probably not that easy now that I say it out loud, but like, shouldn't it? Still gonna report it anyways, but probably people aren't gonna care because it's happening to a woman. That's basically what you guys were saying. I'd have the mechanic call. They're more likely to believe a man with even just a little bit of an authority over her. That's actually not a bad idea, bro. I'd be such an asshole to the police if they wouldn't take me serious on something that I knew was illegal. I'd be such a fucking dickhead. I would literally spend all my money hiring lawyers to fucking make their lives miserable just because I'm petty like that. Fuck my new computer. We're dropping $5 grand on harassing the police department because those fucking assholes can't do their job. Fuck paying taxes to this ridiculous government. We're spending all my tax money for the year on harassing the police department to be better. We got relevant comments and then an update and more relevant comments. So, first comment. That is really creepy. Start planning your exit. Document everything. Another commenter replied to that saying, I would be concerned there are cameras in your bedroom and bathroom. Honestly, I would not feel safe to return home. I would immediately call police and file a report. There are devices you get from a spy store that can scan for the frequency of hidden cameras, but I would not even waste my time with that. My peace of mind would be worth a terminated lease and a breach in contract, which a police report would help you in civil court. Should you have to go, run, do not walk to the nearest exit. Okay, yes, I should clarify. I agree with this just to be safe. I still want to maintain like, hey bro, there is a slight chance it's not him. And like, you should operate with that in mind. But that being said, the most likely culprit is the roommate. And we should first operate as if it is the roommate while also trying to confirm that or figure out if that's not the case. Another commenter said, be specific as to how you know, not what you think or believe, but what actual proof do you have that your roommate put the GPS on your car? What I read is that some guy found something on your car. OOP, it's a small magnetic tracking device. Who else would it have been? I know no one, and this place is too rural for any kind of crime organization like stealing cars. No one would steal my 7-year-old car anyway. Girl, that's not why people track cars. Like, no one tracks cars to steal them. They track cars to steal you. Like I was saying, y'all, I just feel like her logic is a little flawed. Don't get me wrong. Most likely culprit is the roommate. But to say who else would it have been is like, a stranger who does trafficking shit. Someone asked OP if maybe the car dealership put it there. OP replied, I own it. I've had it for about 7 years since I started college. Paid for it in cash outright. Yeah, and I'm guessing if it had been there since OP bought it, another mechanic would have seen it by now. Update March 30th, 2020, the next day. I'm guessing this is on the same post. So last night I decided to suddenly pack my things and plan on making the drive at some point today back to my hometown. He works during the day, but I work from home because my office is closed until at least this summer. I realized I could probably fit all of my stuff in my car, and since my lease ends in May anyway, so I'm just moving out. The only furniture that's mine and not the landlord's or his is my bed, and it's old, so I think I'm going to leave it here. I went down to the police station early this morning and had them remove it. I don't think there's much they can do besides document it. They asked me some questions and I said I didn't know, but I know no one here and I think it might be my roommate. They said it looked like a cheap one from Amazon or eBay, and they'll check it out. Honestly, I may just end up staying home. I miss being in a familiar place where I know basically everyone in town, and I miss my friends. Working from home for a few months might give me enough time to switch jobs. So that's all I have for now. Thank you guys. I'll try to reply to people as well. Okay, and then I think most of the relevant comments here are just additional info. OOP replied to a downvoted commenter on dealing with the police. I've already gone to the police, even if I had told them, yep, told him my roommate did it. I know it. In parentheses, I didn't. I simply strongly suggested it. That is not grounds for someone's life to be ruined. They wouldn't even take that as fact until it was proven, even if they find definitive proof. I'd have to go through with pressing charges. If I did press charges, then it would be a simple misdemeanor. And at that point, if he got a misdemeanor, it would be rightly justified since it was all proven. And that's if I would even bother with charges in the first place. All of these minor things compared to if he was an insane loose cannon that could kill/hurt me if I just didn't mention his name. It's ignorant to not piece together the clues and be safe rather than sorry, instead of just saying, nope, I have no clue. because I do have a clue and I know it's him. I think everything OP is saying is cooking until this because I do have a clue and I know it's him. Don't get me wrong. Intuition is important, chat, but like intuition without confirmation is like how this happens again. Because like if this isn't the roommate, let's say it's an insane stalker, it's not going to stop because you move away. I just feel like it's so not smart to pursue this more. Like I do think there is stuff that the cops can do. You just have to like push them to do it. Maybe they won't end up doing it eventually. I don't know if OP wants to do this. Maybe there's some digging that you could do on the roommate. But like either way, I just feel like and I know it's him, is like if you're wrong and it's someone actually stalking you, like you're gonna deal with this, right? I plan on asking him later today after my 8-hour drive home, so I'm interested in hearing what he has to say. OP added an edit/update to the original post March 31st, 2020, one day after the previous update, since I think it'll get lost in the comments if anyone is curious. Already mentioned I went to the police/home, all settled in now. Ended up asking him about it via phone. He admitted to it. Got freaked out when I said I gave it to the police. Said he was concerned for my safety when I would go places by myself after work. In parentheses, yeah, okay. Bro, that's insane. I'm sorry. Like, even if you're concerned for someone's safety, the answer to that isn't to put a tracker on their car without them knowing. If you're concerned about someone that you cared about safety, ask them to share locations with you. Like, that to me is like consensual. You know where I am. I know where you are. This is not because I'm being a weird control freak. It's because I care about your safety. Like, I have so many people that I share location with whose safeties I care about, and a couple people who I'll check like every once in a while. I'll just be like, hey, where are they? You know, in case it's like, this might be a red flag. It's just so not a way to fucking be concerned for someone's safety. No, bro, just say you're a control freak stalker who has a crush on somebody and doesn't know boundaries. We got into a scuffle about it. He finally snapped and said he knew I was seeing someone when I was hooking up with him. In parentheses, I wasn't. So yeah, my first experience with crazy, hopefully my last. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to blame her, but like you start hooking up with your like roommate. Also guys, not a huge fan of women having random roommates. Like I know that's such a privileged thing to say as a man, but genuinely, if I have a daughter and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a random roommate, I'm gonna be like, hey, I will give you money so that you don't have to have a random roommate. That is so ungodly terrifying, especially a man random roommate. I just feel like you're asking for so much bad shit to happen to you, bro. Once again, just like on some male privilege shit for real, but genuinely, I think that's scary and unbelievably safe. Please, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about getting a random roommate in a town where you don't know very many people, and that random roommate is a 32-year-old man who just got a divorce that you know from a friend, please, for the love of God, don't do that. Just don't. There needs to be more like temporary living situations, like, oh, hey, I need to live here by myself until I can find a roommate type beat. Is that a business? We dropping a new business idea? Listen, she ended up being right. Hell yeah. Big WWB for OP. I do have to say, I feel like OP being like, oh yeah, I met this guy. Didn't give weird vibes. Seemed nice. Lived with him. Decided a good idea would be to be friends with benefits with him. All that proved to crash and burn. And then they were like, oh no, bro. Like I trust myself enough to know 100% that it was this roommate. I don't know, man. Because OP's young too, right? Yeah, 25 female. Like I think there's a little bit of growing up to do here. A little bit of life learning. I'm not blaming OP. I'm just saying I think there's a lot here that could have been avoided. Even if she wasn't friends with benefits, he'd probably start acting up. No, I agree with that, Arthropod. I'm just saying in general, I think guy roommates for girls when like you don't know them, or like when like maybe there isn't like multiple roommates involved, I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sophia. I don't agree with you, because if you are taking the job as a cop, you need to prioritize other people's safety over your own, because that's literally what you signed up for. I have no sympathy for cops who are like, I was fearing for my life. I'm sorry, bro, but isn't that the point of you being a cop? Don't get me wrong. You're going to be put in worse situations than I am in your job, but like you chose that job. If you're not built for that, go fucking do something else. I'm sorry, bro. I think that's a stupid excuse. If you don't put other people's safety ahead of your own, you shouldn't be a cop. Go do a job where you can be safe and your family can guaranteed be safe. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I'm not telling you not to. What I am telling you is if you commit to being a police officer, don't be a pussy. Isn't police to protect and serve? Yes, it's not to protect and serve when I feel like it. Like that's not the oath. The oath isn't, I'm gonna protect and serve whenever I feel like I'm in a safe space to do so. Nah, bro. If you're scared, quit your fucking job. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry you got bad grades in high school and couldn't make it in college, but the answer shouldn't be, oh, well then I'm just gonna go become a cop. Like, no, those aren't the type of people we need walking around with handguns and the ability to exert power over other people.